right, let's recap from this week. There was a lot of learning that took place this week, from the tests and the assessments that students took, from the daily lessons and activities, even in the clubs that they participated in today. Lots of learning was taking place, and I'm so super proud of my kiddos. I did want to give a shout out again to both math groups. They are doing exactly what they should be doing. They're right on time. I did want to mention to parents, I am giving an additional 5 minutes. I promise, parents, I will get this time down. I will figure this time slot out. So please be patient with me. But my donuts need a little bit more time in their math group with me. So if you don't mind, I am going to be keeping donuts with me from 8 o'clock to 8:30. And then my marshmallows will join me at 8:30 and from 8:30 to 9 o'clock. So again, I'm giving an additional 5 minutes to my donuts. So from 8 to 8:30, I will meet with them. And then from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, I will meet with my marshmallows. So hopefully this is the last time I will have to change this math group time. I know that you guys are probably tired of changing all these alarms. I do apologize, but I am trying my best to make sure I am getting to all of my students and making sure that their needs are met, both as a whole class and individually. So 5 more minutes to my donuts, and then marshmallows will join me at 8:30. I wanted to also remind parents there is a student resource hub where you can find all of your students' important information for our class. I've also changed the name of your kiddos' points. So it's now called Layla's Corner or Malachi's Corner or Giuseppe's Corner. And inside of there, you'll find their points, their student weekly recap, as well as their student ID. So students need to become familiar with their student ID because we will be using Mastery Connect this year. A lot of my second graders, a lot of my second graders told me that they did not use Mastery Connect last year. But Mastery Connect is something that we will use a lot of this year. So your student will need to know their student ID. If they ever need to know what it is and they can't remember it, it is in their corner. So like this one says Aluna's Corner. Inside of Aluna's Corner, she can find her student ID. So please make sure your child knows what their ID is. I have a section as well for math resources. So as we go throughout the year, students will be able to access this at any time, even when they're taking tests. Now, I preface this by saying when they're taking tests with me. If they're taking a Mastery Connect test, they cannot use these resources. Okay, so these are for tests like Google Forms. These are for tests or assessments or assignments that I give to students. But anytime we're taking a Mastery Connect test, students are going to need to leave these resources alone. So there's different things in here, from a number line to a hundreds chart, money pieces. And as the year goes on, I will continue to add to this section. You can find the math resources. I believe it's right above the student resource hub. So once you see the student resource hub, I believe you've gone a little too far. Scroll up just a little bit and you should see the math resources. Again, everything is inside of Google Classroom. Please remember to check your students' weekly recap. I have not done the weekly recap just yet. I plan to sit down tomorrow, probably this evening, between this evening and tomorrow, to go ahead and update the weekly recap. And you'll want to at least make sure you check it before Monday, okay? I would really appreciate it if you could go over the weekly recap with your child. The weekly recap, again, can be found in the Student Resource Hub in your child's corner, okay? So please go over this with your child. It is so important that they know that they're getting praised for a lot of the good things that they're doing, but also there are some things we might need to fix. So what could we work on and what could we make a goal for this upcoming week? Please go over that with your child. It is the responsibility of the parent to make sure they are reviewing this with their kiddo, because this is another form of our communication. As we head into next week, please do not forget that classroom expectations must be followed in order to ensure the educational success of your student. No side conversations should be happening during lessons. This has been cut down on a lot. However, I have about 2 or 3 students that are still having those side conversations. They have to stop. So please remind your student they should not be talking to anybody during Miss Cook's lessons. When they leave Miss Cook, they can talk to whoever they'd like to. But when I'm teaching, there should be no side conversations. All parent communication should be sent through email or Remind, not through the student telling me, that they have a doctor appointment or they're leaving right now, or please make sure you send me that communication, because students obviously will be telling me during class time that they have to go, and that's not the time for them to be telling me, because now we're taking away from the lesson. So please make sure any communication, you just send it to me through an email or through Remind. If your student is going to be out, you need to send their absence to Virtual Attendance Elementary at greenville.k12.sc.us. Another reminder, which is also going to be in our newsletter, the link to this video. Remember, this is how to show my best work. So students will be required to now show their best work by way of this video. So I no longer want them using the camera inside of Google Slides. They will need to use the camera on their Chromebook. If your student for any reason cannot access their camera on their Chromebook, just let me know. I'll have them share their screen and I will try to figure out what is happening. But for everybody in second grade, this is the way that I am requiring them to take pictures of their work. This is how they're going to show their best work. I'll be able to see what they're showing me. Even if they used pencil, I'll be able to see it clearly. And please make sure you and your child have paid attention to this video, because this is how we're going to submit our work from now on. Another reminder, homework should not be taking hours each night. I am finding that students a lot of times have their app work already finished before we even have our app work time at the end of the day. And because of this, that frees up a lot of time for them to work on any unfinished work. If you're finding that your student is working long hours after school, please encourage them to use their time wisely. Listen in class for the instructions that Ms. Cook is giving and to use their time wisely. Again, no student should really be working on any homework after 4 o'clock. Okay, so if you're finding that your child has a lot of work to do after they've been dismissed with me, it's probably because they were not using their time as wisely as they could have been. So please speak with your student about that. Final thoughts, please make sure you check this week's newsletter. We do have a few assessments that are coming up, and it seems like next week will be a pretty normal week. I don't have any doctor's appointments, and I don't think we don't have any clubs. We don't have anything extra that's happening. So hopefully a lot more learning will take place, and I wish you and your family a wonderful weekend. Get plenty of rest, maybe get outdoors and do some fun things with your kiddo, and I will see you guys on Monday morning. Have an awesome weekend.